Okay, today we have the Genesis Gen X bow. It comes set up like this. It has the bolts all the way screwed down to its 40-pound maximum draw. You can do 7 rotations to get it down to 25 pounds. It comes with your Allen wrench to loosen the bolts, and it comes with a smaller Allen key and a big draw stop, as well as, if I slide this over, a smaller draw stop already installed. This draw stop goes from 30 to 21 in 1-inch increments, or if you use the bigger draw stop, it reduces it to ½ inch, making it 29.5-inch increments to 20.5-inch increments. So you can work with whatever draw length you need. I'm going to set this up for my little brother, which he is about 26.5-inch draw length, a little more, a little less. I'm going to work with him, but this is about where he needs to be. I'm going to use the bigger draw stop to get that ½ inch increment I need. So I'm going to screw it into place. This bigger draw stop can kind of be a little finicky, so you just kind of want to make sure you get it all the way down into it before you install. So we have 29.5, 28.5, 27.5. I'm actually going to install it right here at the 27.5, because I'm going to be testing it with my little brother. And you can move this, unscrew it. The threads are covered in paint, so you will kind of have to work the threads in. So just be careful with that. You don't want to strip anything by accident, so just be careful. So we have the draw stop changed. Now we're going to go ahead and work on the draw weight. Right now it's set to 40. I'm going to get it close to the 30 for my little brother. So we're going to need to do, since every rotation's about 2 pounds, I'm going to do 5 rotations to get it to around 30 pounds. We have to make sure we do the same amount of turns on both sides of the bow. We don't want one side to be over tightened and one side to be under tightened. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now you can see there's a gap there. Both of these gaps should be about the same size. So now this is set up to the correct draw weight and draw length for the person who's going to be using it. Now we're going to install the arrow rest. We're using the Genesis Mini arrow rest. It is the same arrow rest that is used on the Mini Genesis that Genesis sells. It is the same exact arrow rest as the original, but with this thread adapter, so you can use it on any bow that has a standard thread hole. We're going to undo this, and we're going to screw it into the hole of the Gen X. And now you're going to need to have an arrow of some kind in order to test the proper fit. I've found that if you have it about a ½ inch when you install your arrow rest, you want it to be about a ½ inch out from the inside riser to the outside of the black arrow rest. So I'm going to take my measuring tape and check that real quick. It is a little low, so I'm going to spin it out a couple turns and test again. And that is close enough. I'm going to go ahead and put the bolt cap on so it doesn't move. So as you see, I keep the arrow rest in place, and I'm going to rotate this thread on so it locks it in place. This is to ensure that your arrow rest doesn't move while you're shooting. Now to make sure this is in the proper spot, I'll be taking a arrow and putting it on. We're going to make sure that everything is in line and proper. So you want to make sure that the arrow is in line. I know you can't really see what I'm doing right now. I'll make another video showing exactly how this works. So this right now is set a little too far out. So what I'm going to do is take off the arrow rest, and I'm going to adjust this and just rotate it in slightly. Put the arrow rest back on, and then retighten the cap on the back side, and just repeat that process. You want to, when you look at from the back of the string, you want it to line up in a straight line from the nock of the arrow to the point of the arrow, and the string should be in line with the arrow when you look from the rear of the bow. That is how you set up a Gen X Genesis bow with a micro mini Genesis arrow rest, and that's it. Okay, I just showed you how to set up your bow and how to get your arrow rest on and get your draw weight and draw length set up proper. Now we're going to show you how to tie on a nock locator. Once you get your arrow lined up proper on your string, you're going to make sure that it is as close to level as possible on that arrow rest when it's flying out. I already have it kind of lined up, so we're going to use this. You can use any, you can use serving string that comes in your NASP kits, or you can even use, buy some off Amazon. There's a whole bunch you can find for really cheap. You can also use brass knock locators for NFAA and TFAA. However, this is what most people will be using, as it is way softer on the hands. So we're going to do an upper knock locator. You don't need this much serving string. I just like to have extra just in case I mess up. So we're going to get the ends together and pull it taut. We're going to do a surgeon's knot for the very first knot and last knot. So we're going to go over and in, over and in. So we're going in the loop twice, and then we're going to pull it taut. So that is the very beginning of our knock locator. We'll now go underneath and do a simple underhand knot down here. Very, very simple knot. And we're going to go back and forth, about 6 times. You can do more. I wouldn't recommend doing less, but 6 is about the right number to be doing. So that's our first one. Here's our second one. You just want to keep going back and forth, overneath and underneath, over and under. That's number 3. Number 4. Five, and number 6 up here. Number 6, we will do another surgeon's knot and make sure that is tight and hot. So we go under and through, under and through, and then tighten. And then this is just me. You don't have to do this. I like to do one more overhand knot and just secure it all down. Take your strands and cut them. And then take your lighter and melt down the ends. And that's how you tie on a serving. I do not know where my lighter is. 1 second. Okay. I found the lighter. And now you just very carefully, do not want to overheat anything. Just melt those ends down. Kind of smash them down with the edge of it. You just kind of want to secure that knot. Do not catch it on fire, and don't put too much heat on the string. There you go. It is tied on and secure, and now you have a consistent knocking point. Okay, I hope that was beneficial for everyone. That is how you set up a Genesis Gen X bow. There'll be more videos coming on how to go through a proper shot process with it and everything else, but this is just the very basics of how to set up the bow. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, ask anything in the comments, and I'll answer it. Thank you.